I think Miami could have a really good season. I really do. One of the one of the things that I think with Miami, let's say it because we all know it, and it's the elephant in the room. Funny enough, he did play for the Crimson Tide. To how if he can stay healthy, I think the Dolphins can make some noise. But it's that middle stretch of the season after week 5, week 6. If he does get a concussion, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't. How can these Dolphins stay afloat in the season? Because fully healthy, yeah, look at this. I can see them beating the Colts. I can see them beating the Patriots at home Thursday Night Football. Probably not. I don't see them beating the Bills, but a healthy Tua and a healthy Miami team, I can see be second place in their own division. And then you look here, you don't have to run into the Lions. You don't have to run into the Eagles or the Chiefs through the regular season. You'll have your tough division opponents against, the Bills. Um, it's pretty favorable where, yeah, you could be a 7th or 6th seed and get to the postseason. But here we go. Let's continue. I can see them beating the Jets. I can see them beating the Panthers. On the road against the Chargers, I'll probably have them losing that one. So to this point, past 6 games, 4-2, not too shabby, not too shabby. I can see them beating the Browns, the Falcons. I don't know this one. I don't know about this one. We'll see. Look at how this is like matched up, where it's like win, 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 loss against the Bills. It's tough because okay, so they win this one, start 3-0. They're gonna lose this one. Like I don't see them sweeping the Bills, but then I also don't see them going 5-0 to start the season. But this one against the Bills, no. Ooh, this one's in Madrid. So we have Washington against Miami in Madrid. Jaden Daniels, Tua. You know what? 2 losses in a row. Let's have a bounce back win for the Dolphins against the Saints. I can see them beating the Saints. Come on, I can see them beating the Jets at home against the Steelers. We'll see. There's parts of me where okay, you win 3 in a row. Okay, let's pump the brakes just a little bit because when you look at how this season ends here, they're going to beat the Patriots. They're not going to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're not going to win 7 games. They're not going to win outright 7 games to end the season. They will lose a couple of these. Now we just have to pick and choose which ones they lose. Well, they're probably going to lose to the Bucks. They're probably going to lose to the Bengals, but I can see them beating the Steelers. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, I think the Dolphins definitely have the talent to make some noise. They have the talent to win some games. But let's just, like I circled this one in my top Sunday Night Football game matchups of the 2025 season. Hopefully we have a healthy Tua and healthy Joe Burrow to this point where we can have 2 healthy teams going at it, because I think the Dolphins, you have your S tier teams and then your A tier and then like lower A, B tier teams. I think high A tier is where the Bengals are at, and low A tier is where the Dolphins are at. Because when we've seen the Dolphins at their best, we saw what they did to the Broncos a handful of years back. They put 70 on them. So like I think when the Dolphins are healthy and playing good, you got Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill, you got a pretty good running back room. Like they can play ball. So we'll just see. So yeah, we're sitting right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 11 and 6 with the Dolphins, knock on wood. But that's my thoughts. Dolphins fans, how do you feel? The Bills. Okay, let's talk about the Bills now. I'll try not to favor the Bills too much and like just blitz through where it's like, whoops, I have them going 15-2. Like I think there are some games they will lose. Okay, well, they're going to start out real hot. Okay. And it doesn't surprise me. Okay. I would not be surprised if the Bills do start out 6-0. I know I was saying, oh, okay, let's slow this down a little bit. You look at who they got here. Their hardest game is against Baltimore. So, okay, they lose this one. They're still 5-1 by the time they hit the bye week. Okay? Because I don't think they're going to lose to the Jets. I don't think Miami The Saints, the Patriots, I don't think any of those teams come into Buffalo and beat them. Not in September. No way. Middle of the season, maybe that's a different thing. Now, this one, we'll see how this one plays out. I would say this one is a soft loss because, again, you're all this momentum. You're having a 5-0 Bills team against like a 3-2 Falcons team. It's like, okay, that has upset written all over it. I will lean towards a win. Now, at Carolina, that's where they lose, where it's like, no, you're not going 7-0. At home against the Chiefs, I do think they can beat the Chiefs. Now, at Miami, this is where things in the division get a little fun. I can see them losing this one. At home against Tampa Bay, I can see them winning this one. At Houston, I can see them dropping a silly one at Houston. Because when you look at this, you look at Tampa, Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, they're losing one of these four games. And I'll probably say it might be that one. In Pittsburgh, I can see Josh Allen win this one. Like with how it is right now, where Will Howard or Mason Rudolph's the guy, I can see them beating Pittsburgh. At home against Cincinnati, I do think the Bengals can come into town and ruffle a few feathers. Now against New England, I can see them beating New England. At Cleveland, I can see them beating Cleveland. Now, versus the Jets, I can see them beating the Jets. Now, Philly. Home against the Eagles, considering we're in December now, and like both the Bills and the Eagles are in playoff form, I'm going to lean towards the Bills. But we will just have to see. Like, there's parts of me that is leaning towards, okay, one of these divisional games, whether it's the Patriots with Drake May or Tua with the Dolphins, there's parts of me that say, yeah, the Bills are going to lose one of these games on the road just because they have in the past. Because Miami, Houston, Cincinnati, and Philadelphia might be the teams, or this one right here, the Chiefs. If this one was an Arrowhead, I think this could easily be a loss. But it's hard. Again, they are favored in every single game, but it's hard for me to say confidently that they win over 15 games because I really think there will be games, against the Saints, against the Falcons, where it's like, whoops, we lost that game. We weren't supposed to, but we did. But I think the losses will come in the second part of the season because I would not be surprised if we're sitting halfway through October and the Bills are undefeated. Would not be surprised. But again, big games. Baltimore, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, and the Eagles. They got 5 big games, 5 big booms. But all of them are at home. So they benefit with that. But we'll just have to see. Bills fans, this is what I think. What do you think their win-loss record is going to be? How far do you think they're going to get? Can the Bills finally win the Super Bowl? I think the Bills have a real shot at getting to the Super Bowl. Same with the Ravens. Same with the Bengals. Same with the Chiefs. Like I think we know who's going to be the top 4 teams in the AFC. All right, when we look at the Jets, Rodgers is gone. Adams is gone. You got Sauce Gardner still there. Garrett Wilson's still there. You're bringing on Justin Fields. So you got a reunion of 2 former Buckeyes. The Jets are the Jets, man. And so it's hard for me to say that they're going to win a lot of games. And it's hard for me to say that they're going to be very successful in what they're doing this season. And that's not to discredit anything on them. But I'm not going to be surprised if they start the season 0-4. Now, the boys will need a win here, so I'm going to give them a win against the Cowboys. This one's over the pond. Can they beat the Broncos? I really think they can, but there's parts of me that think like the Broncos defense puts Justin Fields in a phone booth. With London, I didn't even think about that joke, but like literally they make him one-dimensional where you can't beat us over the top, and then this game turns into a running. We got to focus on the running game, and just the Jets offensive line against the Broncos front four, it doesn't work. So I will lean towards the Broncos on that one. I can see them beating the Panthers. Do they beat the Bengals? Hell no. This is still the Jets we're talking about. I can see them beating the Browns. I can also see them. I can see them beating the Patriots. Now, splitting 1-1, I think they can go into Foxborough and very well win this game. But let's just see where Drake May is to this point. Let's see where the Patriots are to this point. Ravens, no. At home against the Falcons, I can see them beating the Falcons. I had them losing. I can see them splitting 1-1 with Miami. Traditionally, in the sense of the home team will win. Because to this point again, too, with how many losses and just where the season's at and hanging in the balance, where you lose two, you win one, you get something under your belt. Let's try to finish strong. Because to this point, I don't think they'd have a shot at the playoffs. And you lose to Jacksonville. I can see you beating the Saints, but then against the Bills, no. Now, if they do beat the Bills, it's because the Bills are resting their starters, because the Bills have secured the 1 seed or the 2 seed to this point. But this is my thoughts on how the Jets do this season. I really think they're going to take a step back. Let's say, Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is going to be fine. I wouldn't panic too much and say he's washed. This season's going to be done for. They're going to go 0-17. No, because we have seen Justin Fields be very successful. But let's see how the Jets build around him. Let's see what the Jets do to try to benefit him. Let's see the coordinators. Let's see what the defense does. There's a lot of stuff on why the Jets were not successful last year. A lot of it falls on the head coach. A lot of it falls on ownership. A lot of it falls on Aaron Rodgers. A lot of it falls on the defense. So you're moving some stuff. We're moving some pieces. Let's go see how Justin Fields, let's go see how he dominates the game. And let's go see how he does with his third team now. And I think this might be his last ride. Like I think Kenny Pickett, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Justin Fields. I think there's a handful of quarterbacks who they're at their last stop or they're done. And I think this might be the stop where, hey, let's see how you do with Coach Glenn. And if it's not the way, then both of you guys out of the league. But again, we'll just have to see. I'd settle my expectations for these Jets, though, because it's tough. It's tough for me to say, yeah, they're going to beat the Steelers. Like, just with how this starts. We'll see where the Dolphins are at, but it's hard to say. Look at how this starts. Steelers, like potential playoff team, potential playoff team, no, and playoff team. Look at all these playoff teams are playing at the beginning of the season. All right, let's talk about the Patriots. I do think when you bring on Campbell, improve the offensive line, there's some other key pieces that they've gotten in this offseason, and the fact that Drake May might take that leap in that second year. There's a lot of high hopes. I think they can win this game. Now on the road in Miami, I don't know about this one, so I'll probably put this one as just a quick loss. Against the Steelers at home, I don't know. Will Rodgers be on the team by this point? I don't know. But I do think Will Howard is a little bit of a better quarterback. I think the Steelers are a little bit better of a team than the Patriots, so I'll take the Steelers. But I think they can beat the Panthers. No, they don't beat the Bills. No, I don't think they can beat the Bills. I think they can beat the Saints, though. I think they can beat the Titans. I think they can beat the Browns. Now, where we sit, Patriots have won 3 in a row. It looks like they're sitting around 500. We'll see where the Falcons are at to this point. I could see them beating the Falcons as well. But then going on the road to the Bucks, no. Beating the Jets, yes. Beating the Bengals, no. Beating the Giants, yes. So again, very middle of the pack, sneaky 7th, 6th seed kind of team. At home against the Bills. We'll see, because look at this gauntlet right here. Boom, boom. And then potentially, hey, can we get in the playoffs with this one? Boom. These two teams are going to be tough. These two games are going to be tough. There's parts of me that is leaning towards they're going to win at least one of them. Because I'll say this right now. They're probably going to win this one against the Jets. And they're, I don't know. I don't know if they can win this one against the Dolphins, even at home. So up until this point, you know what? Okay, if they beat the Bills, they're not going to beat the Ravens. So, okay, so they beat the Bills. I'll give them the benefit. They beat the Bills. Bills have one of those in-division road game losses that they kind of do every year. We'll give it that. So let's look at here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10-7 in Drake May's second year is not bad. Not bad at all. We'll just see how it pans out with Coach Vrabel and the whole organization. Like, I don't want to say the Patriots are back, because absolutely they're not. They're not to the level, you know, how they were with Brady and Belichick. But 10 wins ain't bad. 10 wins ain't bad with a second-year QB. So that's my thoughts on that, guys. I will say this, though. I think the East is between the Dolphins and the Bills. But, again, dude, Drake May could shock the world. We don't know. But be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section, their win-loss record prediction. Be sure to hit the like button, and I'll catch you in the next video.